Good morning. So we're starting a new simon. It's a very short simon. Let's try and finish off this simon and maybe we'll start the next one. Im kuf pei vav. Simon kuf pei vav. Im nashim uktanim chayavim berachas hamazon. Are women and children obligated in berachas hamazon? So let's take a look. Says the Mechaber Aleph. Nashim chayavos berachas hamazon. Women are obligated to say berachas hamazon to bench. V'sofek hu im hein chayavos midaraisa. The shaila is, the suffix is, are they chayav min Torah or moitzias haso hanashim, and therefore they can be moitzi men who also mechuyev min Torah. Im einon chayavos ela midrabanan. Maybe their obligation is only midrabanan. Ve'einon moitzias ela misha eina chiyuvay ela midrabanan, and therefore they can only be moitzi someone who is midrabanan as well. They've only got a chiyuv midrabanan. Ve'ein lekam siman kuf tzadites be'inyan zimun shelaim, regarding women making a zimun. Okay. Says the Mishnah Berurah, what is this all about? So are women obligated in benching min Torah? And the general rule is, for mitzvah seisha has zman groma, women are potter, but mitzvah asay shelo zman groma, then they're chayav, and therefore this is not time bound. And therefore, whenever they choose to have a bread meal, they've got to bench. Therefore, lechera they should be chayav min Torah. However, there's a tzad to say they're only chayav midrabanan. Why? Says the Mishnah Berurah in Sifkot and Beis, Mirduchsiv ala oretz hatova, v'noshim ein lohem chelik b'oretz. They have no chelik in the land of Eretz Yisrael, mitzad atzmon, by themselves. Im loi bebas yiresh, aside from when a daughter inherits the father, and there are no sons, in that situation they would get a chelik in the land. But apart from that, mitzad atzmon, they don't get a chiyuv in Eretz Yisrael, and therefore, because it's tied to that, therefore the chiyuv maybe is only midrabanan. Mashenkin kam v'levim. In contrast to kahanim and levim, afal pi she'ein lahem chelik mikol makom yesh lahem ori migrosh. Kahanim and levim also don't have a chelik in the land. However, they do ori migrosh. V'yesh oimrim. Another reason why women are not chayav min Torah is mishum shelo nitzan lahem bris v'Torah. It says in benching exactly in Noidelecha. It says al brischa shechasant v'Soreinu v'Toroscha shneimantonu. And women are not chayav in bris. They're not chayav in Torah. And therefore, that could be another reason why they're not obligated min Torah. And therefore, they can't be moitzi a person min Torah who has got a chiyuv min Torah. Ela midrabanan. We'll see. Lamisha ein chiyuvay ela midrabanan. Says the Mishnah Berurah, kagoin shelo ochel kadei svia. So, for example, if a woman is her obligation on the tzad to say that it's only midrabanan, they can be moitzi someone who's only got a chiyuv midrabanan. Who is that? Someone who didn't eat kadei severe, he didn't eat satiation. She'ein chiyuv ala midrabanan. Messiah matur to be pneishu sofik. Since there is a question of doubt, a woman should not discharge the obligation of a person, of a man who ate kadei severe, because his obligation is min Torah, and on the possibility that her is only midrabanan, it doesn't work. V'chein kosav Rambam perik hey milchas brachas kosav b'shat shuva shar Ephraim isha she'achla kadei severe, a woman who ate kadei severe, v'nistapka in bercha, and she's got a suffix whether she ate, so whether she benched, right? So she ate, and she can't remember, did I bench, did I not bench? Suffix chayeves levarich. She's obligated to make the bracha. Ayin sham b'tameh. Take a look at the reasoning over there. V'chein hiskim b'chay odom amagin gibarim. Achein b'chidush b'kivega v'chein b'rkei Yosef pasku she'ein tzricha lachzav levarich. In the situation where a woman is mesupuk whether she benched, she does not need to go back and bench, says Rabbi Kivega. V'chein mesada primigodim mekal makom nir zaretz lismech al das shar Ephraim v'siato, in that they should bench. Ein limches b'yodo, you don't have to protest against them. V'ayim b'halacha. So in number 6, he says 2 interesting points. So a woman has got a suffix. She's not sure if she benched or not. So again, this is l'chayra. This is part of this shaila. If she obligated min Torah, then suffix deraisa l'chumer, she's got to bench again. If she's obligated midrabanan, suffix drabanan l'kula. However, this is a machlokes in achronim whether or not she has to bench again. So he says what to do. He says in footnote number 6, he quotes the Chaim who says that she should have another piece of bread, and then she can make birchas hamazon. Yeah, that's an easy way out. And what should she do? She should make a new brach of hamoitzi, because she's decided to stop eating, and therefore her hamoitzi ran out. Make a new hamoitzi, and then she could bench. Now, interestingly, he quotes Shlomo Zalman, It's good to instruct women that in this situation where there is a sofek, whether they benched, that they should bench. Why? We don't want women to treat Birchas Hamazon lightly. We don't want to think that they're not obligated to say Birchas Hamazon. The only shaila is it Deraisa, is it Drabanan? Therefore, if you tell her don't, if you're Masupuk, don't bench, she'll treat it lightly, that's not what we want. Okay, Sif base. Katan Chaim midrabanan kadei lechanchai. A child is obligated midrabanan to bench mitam chinuch. Vahid ben mevarich l'aviv. In that situation, which the Gemara talks about, that a son can be moitzi his father, kashelei achol ha'av kadei svia. That's talking about a situation where the father's obligation is only midrabanan because he himself didn't need to kadei svia to satiation. She'ein chayav ela midrabanan. Otherwise, the son whose chiyuv is only midrabanan cannot be moitzi the father if his chiyuv would deraisa. Says Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Daled, Chayav Katan Chayav midrabanan. Hainu afilu le'achol rak kazais. Even if the cotton only ate a kazais, he still has an obligation to bench. Gam kan chayav midrabanan lechanchai, because that's part of chinuch. Vahid ben rotzulema ahid is beGomara. That case that the Gemara talks about, the ben cotton mevarich or moitzi his aviv, that he can bench and he can moitzi his father's Birchas Hamazon, kashein yedei levarich, when the father doesn't know how to bench. That is talking about where the father's obligation is midrabanan, i.e. sif cotton vav k'shleachol ha'av kadei svia, where the father did not eat to satiation. Avlim achol ha'av kadei svia, but if the father ate to satiation, shechayev levarich min haTorah, then he's obligated to eat min haTorah. Ein b'noi cotton shemechuyev rak midrabanan yochel litzia. Then the son, whose obligation is midrabanan, cannot discharge the father's obligation. V'kos v'achronim to cotton ein moitzi so isha shem midraisa chayeves, and for the same reason, a cotton cannot be moitzi a woman, because on the tzad that a woman's chiyuv is min haTorah, the cotton cannot therefore be moitzi her. She'ein chayev. This is the last bit of the mechaba, because the son's obligation is only midrabanan, and he can't be moitzi the father when father's chiyuv is min haTorah. V'im kein haben le'achol, v'im gam haben le'achol kadei svia, and if the son didn't eat kadei svia, to have it's like trade drabanans, one is chinuch and one is he didn't eat kadei svia. In moitzi la'aviv yesh des ben aposkim v'yesh lahachmir, to avoid it, because it's two drabanans is weaker than one drabanan, and therefore that would be more problematic. So just to summarize this siman, women and children are chayav in benching, but women, there's a suffix whether they're chayav min haTorah or midrabanan. On one hand, they're chayav min haTorah because the mitzvah say she'ein hazman grom, and therefore they should be chayav. On the other hand, there's a sad say it's drabanan, either because they didn't get a chelik in the land or because they are not lo nitzin lahem bris v'Torah. And ketanim only chayav midrabanan, and the nafkamina would be, can they be moitzi peoples who have men who have an obligation min haTorah? If there is a suffix in the case of a woman, we said that there's a machlekes in the achronim. Rav Shlomo Zalman seems to say that one should instruct women to bench in the case of a suffix. Otherwise, we're worried that they'll come to a kilkul because they'll think that the Birchas Hamazon is not so important. Okay.